So let's get the latest on this. We can go live to the station and our correspondent Ena Miller. What can you tell us, Ena?
Well, I'm at one of the UK's busiest railway stations, and earlier today it was quite quiet, and that's because a lot of the trains had been cancelled, derailed or revised, and the reason behind this is a partial derailment of one of the trains between here and Vauxhall that happened just before 6 o'clock this morning. Now, as you said, Anita, the Royal British Legion is recreating the words of that famous poem In Flanders Fields that was written by John McCrae in 1915, and they're doing that with poppies that you can just see behind me here. Now, each line of that poem is positioned, as you said, in 7 different locations around the country. There's one in Dunkirk, another in Dover. Last year they raised round about 46 million. This year they want to try and beat that and raise 47 million. And if anybody wants to come down and see this, unfortunately they can't because it's not open to the public, but the one up in Staffordshire is open to everyone. It's dawn, a very different type of wake-up call. It's 5:30 in the morning and about 10 special police officers have just raided this flat in North Kensington. What we know is that 7 people inside, 5 of those have been arrested and 1 of those has swallowed something, and so they've called an ambulance and taken him away. The aim of this is to make sure that those arrested here don't turn up at the carnival this weekend. Well, Sally, renting or buying a property in the New Forest is said to be pretty expensive. That's why these reduced rates are so important to some of the staff here. Now, one local carpenter who's lived in this house for 15 years says that he's devastated that his rent is going to go from £500 to £700 a month. I've got a coffee cup here, and it's got a little bit of leftover that someone might have in a coffee cup.
Right.
So we're going to test it. So do you want to reduce it for me?
So I'm just going to collapse it down and then I'm going to seal it tight.
Okay, and the idea is that nothing's supposed to leak.
That's right.
Okay. This is it in my handbag, in my pocket. It works.
Guilt that this is my fault. It was nobody's fault. But I can't change that.
At the moment, Bruno lives here, the Royal Hampshire County Hospital. They say that they're providing the care that Bruno needs, but are working closely with others to make sure that he gets home as soon as possible.
So I went out to get a nurse and she came back and said, yes, your mum's died. So she said she would never hold her mask on. So I said, you just let her die. Well, she won't hold her mask on, what can I do?
We've spoken to Royal Bournemouth Hospital and they say what they can't do is talk to us about individual patient cases, but what they can do and what they say that they want to do is talk to the family directly, face to face, to answer any questions that they may have.
Ena Miller has been following the story. So, Ena, why is this happening now?
Well, in the last few weeks, several hospitals across the south have put their hands up and said they simply can't cope with the demand. So Oxfordshire's A&E department even admitted that they haven't been able to meet their targets of treating patients, and in some cases have nearly declared a major incident. South Central Ambulance explained earlier this week the situation.
These photos on screen now were taken by a BBC South Today reporter who was just a couple of cars behind the crash.
Within a couple of minutes, the fire had just gone from a little thing under the front of the truck to full-blown. The front part was on fire. There was debris all across the motorway, and on the left-hand side were 2 cars that had been smashed up, but people had got out of them, and one of the women was quite hysterical because she was worried about her children.
Beach Hut 67, doors and some front panels are gone, but otherwise no problems.
The problem the council seems to have is the asbestos in the roofs, and as you can see, the concrete here is corroding, and because of this problem here, it's affecting the future of all these huts. The time of year when the sweet sounds of jazz is celebrated in London. This year's theme is about celebrating the song and the singer, but organisers say showcasing emerging talents is just as important as showcasing the established ones.
I've been so many places in my life and time.
And it looks pretty lively there already, Ena.
It is really lively. I'm at a Brazilian restaurant in Southampton and they've been preparing for this moment for quite some time now. The flags are out, the football's on the screen and they've already started making the drinks and I've been sampling a few. Now I've got the manager, Paolo, with me. Now you've had a busy day, haven't you? As a man of the cloth, preaching the word of God is Anthony McCrawwood's job.
Sight to the blind, to let the oppressed go free.
But as an ex-accountant, spreading the message of saving and lending money has also become a passion. Jesus is known for kicking out moneylenders and merchants out of the temples, but the Bible does say one should not charge interest on loans to one's brother. But the church now seems to be really happy to let the same moneylenders back in through the front door. Thanks very much and enjoy watching the game. Well, kick-off is tonight at 9 o'clock between Brazil and Croatia, but I think I'd quite like to stay here, Tony. So, from Southampton, back to you.